G'day fellas and welcome to a casted game. Spawning in on the south side of the map, playing in the color blue rather, it is going to be David Kim on the deli. No, it's not the real David Kim. I know a lot of you guys might be watching this and seeing David Kim for the first time and thinking, oh my lord, it's David Kim. No, it's not the real one. Calm down. This is going to be, I think it's Puppy Paw that's playing on this account. I'm not 100% sure, but it is not the real David Kim. But on the other side of the map, spawning in on the color red, playing as the Abbasid dynasty, it is going to be Leenock. Yes, you guys know Leenock. You love Leenock. He's from Korea. He was playing at N4C, and he's a regular feature on this channel. He is an incredibly talented guy. But I'll be leaving links in the description to both of these players. I'll be leaving a link in the description to where you can find their Twitch stream. So if you're interested in watching them, then make sure you go check them out. Give them a follow because it's great fun over here on Twitch. We are casting live all the time. These guys are playing live all the time. And Leenock going to be finding some early sheep. But now we're going to enter into a stage of the game here, which is a little bit different because the berries aren't as important as they used to be for these two civilizations. We are on the map Dry Arabia, and you can see both players have opened up looking to go onto the berries. But keep in mind, berries for these civilizations have been nerfed. They're not as strong as they used to be. It used to be that 500 food that we're getting in. Now it's just going to be that 350. In addition to that, there's a couple of other changes as well. As an example, the Abbasid dynasty, their camel archers, not as strong as they used to be. But I'm very curious to see as to how it affects the Delhi Sultanate. I've spoken with a couple of people about this, and we're starting to see a shift in the meta, a trend. A way that the meta is beginning to change. And what do we mean by meta? You know, the meta typically means what you can expect people to do, what you can expect to happen in a game. What do you think is reasonable? And we're starting to see that Delhi are much less picked than what they used to be. And there's a couple of reasons why that could be. But in my opinion, one of the big things is the fact that now they are very reliant on sheep rather than on these berries. Earlier, you know, or in previous patches, they would have easily been able to take control of these berries and just sit on them for, you know, a good 6 or 7 minutes. But now they actually need to get out on the map. They need to find those sheep. And by the same token, for the Abbasid dynasty, it means that they are less capable of getting out units in the early stages of the game and able to actually do a lot of damage if they do go for that second town center. So we'll have to look to see how Leenock plays it, whether he goes for that second town center earlier. Obviously, he's up against the Delhi. So what's the game plan going to be here for the Delhi? The Delhi player going to be looking to take those sacred sites. We can see he's uncovered the first one. The second one in the center has also been uncovered. The third one, yet to be uncovered at this point in time, but I'm sure David Kim's going to be working his way down towards it. And now we take a look in the base of David Kim, and we do see it is going to be the Dome of the Faith that goes up for him. So he's going to be looking to get those discounted scholars. So he's going to be coming out onto the map. He does find that third sacred site. He's going to be looking to secure up each one of these sacred sites. Now, there's a different threshold that you can do for each of these ones. Number one is just send out a scholar. You just send out a single scholar out towards this position and look to try and take control of it. Ideally, you send 3 to each one at the exact same times, so they all land on the sacred sites at the same time. And as a result, it means that it's more difficult for your enemy to actually deal with that, because now all of a sudden they've got to send a scout here, they've got to send a spearman here, they've got to send another scout over here. And as a result, you know, it's more likely that you're going to get it. That's your first level. Your second level is where you start sending out spearmen or archers in the early game and start to look to wall up these positions. You can actually get a nice little square wall around these sacred sites like that. And that will enable you to have a very secure sacred site. And then you can go and capture it, and it's almost a guaranteed hold. There's not much your enemy can do against that in the early stages of the game. But then there's the third one, which is where you actually start applying pressure to your enemy, and you start putting yourself on the aggressive. That means that you're getting in their base, you're looking to start coming up and deny the berries, get under here on the wood line, potentially out over onto the stone outcropping, and you try and keep your enemy in their base, and then you take the sacred sites behind that. So we'll look to see now that Leenock has aged up what his plans are. You can see sacred site not going to be on the cards for him at this point in time. Instead, fresh foodstuffs and wheelbarrow are going to be coming in from both of his landmark as well as his mill. But age up now coming through on the other side, and we did see that Leenock going to be intent on getting that second town center up quickly. So I'm curious to see how he responds to the 3 sacred sites that David Kim will look to be taking, and whether David Kim actually goes to take them. We'll have a look at how he's playing it out now, and indeed, it looks like he's going to be dropping down a stable in the early stages of this game. Research coming through. We can see efficient production's already come through, so technically he is going to be able to jump inside these stables. One of the things that you can do with the deli is jump inside your military production buildings and boost them up. So typically a stable, it's going to take 29 seconds, or 22 seconds rather, to get a horseman out, but all of a sudden, you've got a scholar inside, and now all of a sudden, it's 11 seconds. So you've effectively got 2 stables in one, and the price that you pay for it, only 75 gold. A very, very nice discount. Leenock, though, going to be spotting that out. Immediately sees the stable, immediately sees the horseman coming out, and he heads back towards his base. He doesn't want to lose these sheep, and so he knows that it's important to get back to his base and report back to what is happening in the main base. But we can see that Leenock going to be intent on grabbing that second town center up quickly. But the question is, where does he look to drop it down? There's a couple of spots. Ideally, you'd love to drop it down on a hunt. Ideally, you'd like to find a hunt close to other resources, but it's not going to be the case. Not when you've got horsemen that are making their way across the map. And so Leenock instead looks to go along the wood line here. It's close to the berries as well. This is a great little spot for Leenock here in this scenario. So going to be dropping down a stable as well. You can see he did a little bit of a base playing around. Not sure exactly what happened there, but a lot of villagers moving out into this position. He knows that he can't afford to let this get denied, and so as a result begins to build it with a lot of villagers. There's 16 villagers there. Keep in mind, one of them selected on the stable, so he has got 15 villagers in total building up that town center. And now we see that raid coming in towards the north. No damage going to be done. David Kim running up empty, and we can see that he's moving out towards the sacred site. Sanctity yet to come through. He was actually going to be heading towards those sacred sites, but decided to change his mind, it seems, because Sanctity was not yet through. But now we can see all the upgrades starting to come through for David Kim. We've got double broadaxe, we've got horticulture, we've got iron undermesh, and we've also got specialized pick coming through. People often will forget this one, so glad to see it wasn't forgotten today. Bloomery also going to be coming in. Just the one blacksmith opening at this stage in the game. Archery range also going to be coming through, and attention going to be pushing over towards the other side of the map as David Kim looks to try and take control. Leenock here working towards his heavy economy. You can see he's got double villager coming out at the same time, also training up those horsemen. Looking to try and take control now. We see David Kim going to be coming in on the wood line here. One villager goes down. Leenock falling asleep at the keyboard. Leenock jumping inside that town center, going to be able to repel those horsemen. Nice little raid that comes in from this position. He's got to be careful to draw these away. Ideally, you'd even want to see a wall drawn up on there just to stop this from happening, because this is going to keep happening for the next 6 minutes, 7 minutes. It'll keep happening until a response is issued. And now second villager going to be going down. Third villager goes down as well. Very nice little engagement there for Leenock's opponent. But now down towards the south, we see a scout coming out. Leenock looking to turn the attention towards his opponent's base, find out a bit more. He sees houses going down on the front. He spots the archery range, so he knows that camel archers could be on the way, or just basic archers as well. And now Leenock almost giving up completely on this position. He realizes that these horsemen just represent such a big threat. You can see the way that the other horsemen are weaving in through this wood line here. And now David Kim going to be moving out across the map. Sanctity going to be coming through shortly. You can see not too long before it's complete, 54 seconds. He's got 3 scholars inside that, 3 scholars for each sacred site. And now look at the mass that is building up. David Kim doing a great job of just hiding the units that he's making, and going to be slowly turning his attention towards this map and getting out there. And now we see the improvements coming through. It's that 8-minute timing. This is where the deli start to get their strongest. It is right now, because all of their upgrades have come through. Every single upgrade that you would expect for a deli player to come through has come through. All those eco upgrades. He's got the first +1 upgrade that's come through as well. Only going for 1 blacksmith, not going to be going for 2. Looking to repel this early attack. And we'll check back in now with Leenock, and you can see he's open with double stable. But remember, we talked about this earlier. The fact that the berries don't have 500 on them, and they've only got 350 now, means that he's going to have to move onto other sources of food sooner rather than later. Before, he would have been sitting on there. There'd probably be another 2 berry patches that would still be sitting here right now. But as a result, it means he's going to have to come out onto this berry patch. He's going to have to think about heading up towards this berry patch. He's going to have to get out onto the map and look to fight for these deer, even potentially going up towards this position. And don't even mention the boar. No, don't even mention the boar, because these 2 players, neither of them are able to take it. Sacred site about to get taken. You can see all 3 of the scholars in position at this point in time. Sanctity about to come through. It's got 0 seconds left, and boom, 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 baby. Well, there you go. That is the perfect deli play coming out right there. David Kim opening up with a perfect opening, and now gotta be careful. Scholar could get picked off in this position. He does have the extra health on this, so he's gonna be able to keep it alive. He's gonna make sure he screens for the Scholar getting stuck. Scholar getting healed up at the same time. He's doing a good job keeping it alive. He's got to pull it through, though. It's taking a lot of damage. Now Archer's gonna be able to come in on the back line, looking to try and force Leenock back in this position, and it seems like Puppy Paw, aka David Kim, gonna be able to hold. And now we hear units on the sacred site down towards the south. It looks like it's not gonna get captured just yet. First sacred site does go over towards David Kim. Second sacred site still yet to be stood on. He's got to fix this one up. You can see the Scholars moved over to heal in this position. More units beginning to move out towards the center. More Scholars being rallied out. And now towards this third sacred site, the last Horseman does get cleaned up, and now all of these sacred sites are going to get taken. And now the cleanup begins. So what Leenock is doing right now, you can see as he is decapping this sacred site, there is more and more gold that is trickling in. So even though we saw a Scholar that was lost there, it is all going to be returned to him. He only paid 75 gold for that Scholar, and it is all going to be returned to him during this period. You watch that sacred site, it is going to continue. But more attacks coming towards the front of the base now. David Kim looking to try and apply some pressure, and now looking to wall up this central sacred site. He knows that if he walls up these sacred sites, it's going to be difficult for his opponent to really do a lot of damage. And all three sacred sites are now taken, and David Kim is in a very strong position. Once again, though, villagers going to be falling back. You can see he's struggling here. A lot of these villagers on quite a low hit points, but instead going to be focusing his attention towards this villager up towards the north. Two villagers do go down in this engagement. More horsemen going to be coming out in this scenario. Third villager going to be going down, the one that was making the stable. A little bit of a misplay right there from David Kim. Villager count at the moment, 33 villagers, 18 of them idle. Compared over to Leenock, who's on 45, or 48 rather. So he is going to be doing very, very well with regard to his economy. But keep in mind, it's those three sacred sites, well, two quote-unquote sacred sites now, because one of them has been lost. So I suspect we'll have a Scholar heading up towards that direction shortly. Indeed we do, as it gets trailed by a scout behind it. And now at the same time, there is action all over this map. There is action absolutely everywhere. More and more archery ranges and stables coming up for Leenock. And now the Camel Archer transition begins. But keep in mind, very, very heavy when it comes to the food costs. So as a result, it means that these Abbasid Dynasty players are going to be struggling to get more units out. But now the Horseman going to be cleaning up the Scout. Scout going to be going down. If it's not careful, it's trying to run back as quickly as it can. But unfortunately, it's got a lower movement speed than what its opponents have got. Scholars managed to make it out alive. A single Scholar back here. You can see the way that Puppy Paw is playing, or David Kim rather, is playing with these Scholars, just keeping them out on the map here. Ideally, what he's going to want to do is transition into a Castle Age play and keep the Scholars out on the map and look to just take all of the relics. He's got all three of the sacred sites are now in his possession, and more units continuing to come out. But now we can see that there is quite a fair bit of horsemen coming out in this position. Horseman going to be looking to evacuate. Leenock heading back out of this. He says, you know what? I'm not interested. There's too many units in here for me. I'm not going to bother. And now has to fall back. All those sacred sites have been walled up in the middle of the map. You can see double sacred sites walled up. And now the Horsemen looking to engage. A couple of camels on the back line. These guys are both very low health points. And now more reinforcements coming in for Leenock. Leenock going to be happy with this engagement, I suspect. The only thing he's going to have to worry about are these Scholars on the back line, which are going to start healing up. And we'll take a look at how much healing they're actually going to be able to provide right now. You can see just the healing that comes out. Look at watch the health of this Horseman. It tries. They're trying to kill it. And finally it goes down. And now, look, you can just see the absolute healing mayhem that is coming out from these Scholars as they're dishing it out. But Leenock still managing to hold on towards his forward position. Scholars raising their hands up, but unfortunately they've raised them too much, too quickly. He's going to need more than prayer to save him now at this point in time. Leenock is fighting very, very hard, and Leenock overwhelming his opponent in this scenario. Slowly but steadily, these Scholars going to be going down, and Leenock turning his attention towards the back line as he looks to push through on this forward position and take control of those sacred sites. We hear behind this, the sacred sites have been completely captured by David Kim. He is working towards that sacred site victory, but keep in mind, it's not the sacred site victory he wants. He just wants the gold income from the sacred site. That's what it's all about. 5 Scholars in queue, 5 Horsemen in queue, 5 villagers in queue. This guy loves 5. If you can give him 5 of anything, he'll take it. That is what he loves. That is where the obsessive-compulsive disorder really comes out. Everything must be in a multiple of 5 or must be even. You guys know it has to be even. If it's not a 5. Of course, if it's not a 5. I will also accept, the TV volume level. It has to be a multiple of 5 or an even number. One of the two. It cannot be an odd number. And if it is, it has to be a 5. But now we spot out the town center. Going to be continuing to train villagers, but the real key is this House of Learning behind. This House of Learning going to be doing so much, but now Leenock beginning to move out across the map. We can see that Leenock going to be doing a pretty decent job of looking to close up this central position here. But we got ourselves we got ourselves in a little bit of trouble, it seems these villagers have said. They're going to try and heal up on the front line, but the reality is that they're probably going to be going down. He's working on them on the back line. Villagers really find themselves in a hard place. We hear more scholars being embraced upon by David Kim at this point in time, and Age 3 has reached, or been reached, and now Sacred Sites not going to be the only thing that are under pressure, but also the relics. Keep in mind, he's going to be looking to try and take these relics. So we hear David Kim reaching the 3rd age. Leenock also going to be going up to the 3rd age as well. So both players not skipping a beat in this scenario. It's going to be the culture wing that comes up for Leenock. He's also dropping barracks. So that is a sign of his intention in this scenario. Where does he look to go from here? There's a wolf just attacking a horseman. Horseman just going to be ignoring it, trying its best. Manages to take down the scholar on the middle of the sacred site. But Leenock is actually doing a great job. He's neutralizing all of the sacred sites. This is exactly what he needs to do. A bit of a raid coming in on his gold mine. The only thing is that his enemy is up before him. He's got scholars out on the map, and it's going to mean the relics are going to get taken up very quickly. They're going to get snapped up very quickly. We can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 relics out on the map. Still yet to be taken, but now David Kim working towards them and looking to pick them up. That's a lot of potential passive gold that can be coming in. But we'll have to see how he looks to play it. And indeed, that relic in the middle of the map does get picked up. There are more that are out here. Action absolutely everywhere on this map right now. It is cavalry wars. I mean, up until this point, David Kim has played it very well. That's the thing, right? Like, we talked about this. This was the perfect opening for the Delhi. The only mistake that he made was not mixing spears. But my fear is, even if he mixes in spears, they just get picked off by the camel archers anyway. So is it even really worth it in his position to do that? Now moving out into the middle of the map, he's got a mill out here, looking to get those second tier upgrades as well. We can see all 3 of them coming in. Acid distillation, fertilization, lumber preservation, all the good ones that love to rhyme, ending in that shun, going to be coming in. And now a little bit of a raid back here as well. Villagers moving out. Does he go for a quick wall, or is he's just bringing them out? You can see once again the berries going to get dried up. What is going on with Leenock's age up? Leenock's age up right now. It is coming through. It just says it's not coming through. It's a bit weird. It must be bugged. In fact, it is definitely bugged at this point. Villagers as well as horsemen going to be repelling these lances. Age up now comes through. Leenock going to be holding on in this castle age. And the question is whether he's going to be able to take out his opponent. He's looking like he's in a decent spot. 79 villagers. 37 military, compared to his opponent who's on 47 and 21. But we hear those relics are getting taken. The sacred sites slowly being returned back towards our Delhi player. And now the question begs, is Delhi in a decent spot? Is Delhi a strong civ? You know, Delhi used to be the king. Delhi used to be, you know, civilization #1. That was the civ you always turn to, the civ you always look to ban. But are players even going to be looking to fight for it this weekend? For anybody unfamiliar, this weekend, EGC TV's Golden League is starting back up. We have got round number 3 coming out, and it's going to be exclusive civ picks that work in. And now Walalo coming on towards the right side of the map, going to be trying to repel these cavalry units just for a short amount of time before they run back in and immediately look to execute the horsemen of their opponent. We can see David Kim even yet to run back in towards that angle, and at the same time more units running around the map. All of the relics being taken in, with the exception of this last one. He hasn't scouted this last one. You can see it right there on the edge of the map, but he's taken 4 of the 5, I think, at this point. We'll have a look and see where his relics are being kept. There's 2 inside here. There's more that are going to be working back. Actually, he's heading out towards that sacred site. He might find it. Lancers in the middle of the map. Raids happening everywhere, up towards the north, down towards the east. They're absolutely everywhere. Veteran horsemen going to be coming through now. Keep in mind, these veteran horsemen, they do a fair bit of damage, but nothing when it's compared to these lancers. And lancers now looking to hold that sacred site. I think Leenock realizes that's probably a little bit too much. I don't think you should be biting off this. This is way too much for you to be able to chew, Leenock. You got to be careful, my friend. And now Leenock looking to repel those lancers up towards the north as well. Any kind of battle where you're having lancers up against horsemen, you're going to be very happy. Horsemen, specialized unit against those ranged units. Lancers, effective against everything. And now a keep in the middle. Leenock, a very optimistic individual, going to be dropping down that keep. And indeed, that keep is going to be getting cancelled very, very quickly. We can see that it's a nice attempt by Leenock, but you really got to wonder what he was thinking when he decided to come out to drop down this keep today. Those villagers going to be heading... They should have built themselves a graveyard, because I tell you what, there was no real chance of those guys surviving. But now, Leenock going to be going for another keep as Puppy Paw continues to move forward. A lot more villagers this time. A very smart decision from Leenock. He's decided to call his front a little bit further back at this point in time. And Camel Archers on the backside. Still yet to get their upgrades to Veteran, but Veteran Horsemen going to be able to tank up on the front. Keep in mind that Camel Arnie is going to be in here, reducing the damage down of the Lancers and preventing them from maximizing their effectiveness in this scenario. Now we see more Lancers beginning to come in from the right-hand side, and Lancers taking a pretty unfortunate fight there. Keep going to be able to get up, and now Villagers going to be heading back in this scenario. No walls coming up from either player yet, with the exception of those that are on the sacred sites. But Leenock looking pretty decent. He's sitting on 86 villages at the moment, looking to get those upgrades in. Horticulture, going to be the first one that comes through. He'll be looking to get, he's indeed got that second upgrade already, and now neutralizing sacred sites. Veteran Spearman has come through for Leenock. But back towards David Kim's base. He's got all 3 sacred sites. He's still yet to grab the 4th or the 5th relic. He's got 4 of the relics safely inside. Does Leenock know about this relic? Leenock knows about this relic. Puppy Paw, the only one that doesn't know about this relic at this point. But now it seems like David Kim going to be continuing to push out. He's got more and more units that he's making on the back line here. But keep in mind, if he does go for these upgrades, then as a result, it's going to mean that he's struggling to make units at this point. That's probably the best way to say it. He's got a lot of infrastructure back here. He's got 10 buildings. 10 buildings that he can be producing out of. And now attention turns towards the farms of his opponent. A big raid coming in. A lot of units here. I feel like this is almost an unnecessary amount of lancers looking to raid here from David Kim. And the walls now beginning to come up. The rumors are true. Leenock has learned how to wall. Leenock knows how to wall. Now we are going to be seeing Leenock slowly but steadily push back towards this position, try and force his opponent off. But he's done a great job of cleaning up so far. Camel's actually going to be coming out as well. The camels are really going to sell it to me on this one. I like the addition of the camels. Camels get that bonus damage against the cavalry. And so they're very, very effective in this matchup. Villagers coming out. I feel like they're almost coming in to bait the enemy. It's like, hey, man, don't mind me. Come on up. And now we've got some quick walls coming in. Leenock going for the quick walls. Leenock has indeed learned how to wall, it seems. Walling up the entire map down towards the south. We can see he's doing a great job of it down here. Walling up towards the north. Quick walling in the middle. Absolute beautiful stuff coming out from Leenock. And David Kim going to be falling back and saying, well, Leenock has learned to wall. What do we do now? What do we do now that Leenock knows how to wall? And look at the gold that's coming through for David Kim at this point. And now we begin to see the tower elephants moving out. Tower elephants going to be moving out one by one. The unit that's probably the strongest for the Delhi in this scenario. Wall's going to be coming up from David Kim. I like the way that he's walling in the dark. I didn't actually know that you could wall this much in the dark. That's pretty cool. So I would encourage you guys, if you are walling, just wall into the dark. That's fine. You don't need to scout it out. You don't need to know where the enemy, or where the edge of the map is. All you need to know is that you can wall in the dark. And it's actually pretty decent. Look at that. The villagers just come out there, they scout it out for you, and then they finish that wall in. It's a nice little spot. Third sacred site, once again, looking to get captured. Second one in the center, also getting captured. Third one is neutralized. And now the scholar going to get taken out here before that sacred site gets finished. It was so damn close. It must have been a second away. If he just moved it over to here, I think he would have survived. But now also going to be taken out over on this western flank. I'm not sure what happened. Oh, I see what happened. The camel riders came in. The camel riders came in with their 1.87 movement speed. Keep in mind, these guys are buff. Little buff boys. They've got so much speed on them. I think there's the camel barding, and then there's another camel upgrade that they've got access to. I think it's this one. It appears right here. So it seems like Leenock has already got that one. But now the camel archer is going to be coming out. Camel rider's looking pretty strong with them, and a horseman. Beautiful composition coming out from Leenock. And he'll be looking to really put on the hurt in this position. Because his opponent... now, keep in mind, actually, does cavalry include tower elephants? Are tower elephants cavalry? Because technically they're ranged cavalry, but they're not horses. So I don't know whether camel unease affects them. I don't know whether they get that extra, that damage reduction. I don't know whether these camel riders get the extra damage against the tower elephant. So we'll have to wait. We'll have to see how these guys do. But you can see that these guys barely got any armor. They do have a lot of upgrades in the late game, though, that are going to translate into additional armor for them. So as an example, you get access to this one right here, which increases the armor of the camel riders by 2. You can see it's such an affordable upgrade as well. At the same time, I think there are more upgrades on the House of Wisdom, potentially. Let's have a look and see. There's the military wing. No. Oh, here, grants camel rider shields, improving their melee armor by 3. So they can go to 3, 5 armor, and then they can also get plus 3 armor from just the normal upgrade. So they can go up to 8 armor. That's pretty damn decent. 8 armor in total. That is not bad at all. Now Leenock moving out. Bit of an interesting mining camp that he's decided to drop down. Leenock playing out of T90's handbook here, with getting a little bit of low ELO legends, it seems. But now Leenock moving out towards that position, and slowly he takes control of the game. We can see his score starting to build over on the right-hand side of the screen. 100 economic units for him at the moment, compared over to his opponent, who's on 68, very close to a nice amount of villages. He barely needs a few more, and then he would be fine. There you go. There you go. That's nice. That's very nice. But I'm starting to feel more and more concerned for David Kim because he sits on the one town center. We can see he's got 5 villagers in the queue at the moment, but that's it. He doesn't have a second town center. There's no real way for him to keep up with his enemy. Obviously, he's got the relics. He tried to take the sacred sites, but wasn't successful in that regard. He did have them in the early game, but lost out. And now his tempo has been completely neutered by the fact that the Abbasid player has just still managed to build up a decent mass of units. And you really got to give it to Lee Nock. He did a great job of getting out onto the map. He's still got this hunt out here, but he was able to take the second hunt. He was able to take his berries behind his base, and now as a result he's able to transition that over into a pretty steady lead, because the one difficult thing that he's going to struggle with throughout this game is that food. That is going to be the continuing theme with the Abbasid, with the Delhi. It is going to be this struggle for food. It is going to be really hitting them hard, even though they do get that extra food in their base compared to the other civs who are able to go and take the boar. It means that they've got to come out of their base a bit more often, and as a result it means that they're going to be it's not going to be pretty. Let's just put it that way. Beautiful composition coming out for Lee Nock at this point in time. Camel Riders looking to really show up in force today. I'd be curious to see whether he goes into Elite Camel Riders. I would honestly like it a lot. Camel Riders are one of these units that are quite notorious. Once you get a lot of them out, they are very effective. I like the fact that the negatives for the Camel Rider is literally just high cost. Like, it costs the same amount as a Lancer, but that's it. Like, it's just high cost for Camel Rider. And it's very, very high food cost as well. But now Lee Nock going to be going up to the next stage, and once again we see that it is bugged. It is not showing us exactly how long it is. 56 seconds, you can see it at the top there. It's not moving up, but Lee Nock making a little bit of a mistake moving in. Camel Unease not going to be affecting these tower elephants, so I suspect in this scenario you can see it's coming off on the Lancers, but now David Kim going to be falling back. We'll enter into the cinematic mode as a little bit of a choke point comes through. Players going to be trying their best to get through on this, through to the other side. Lee Nock manages to come through and now finds himself in a great little spot here. Tower Elephants on the back line going to continue firing off towards those units, and the Camel Riders looking to try and clean up. But keep in mind, the Camel Riders are so effective against those cavalry units. I'm not sure whether they get their bonus damage against the Tower War Elephants, but I would suspect that they don't. But let's have a look and see how much damage they are doing as they're hitting away. No, they do. Oh my lord, they totally do. It's just Camel Unease doesn't affect it. I think Camel Unease only affects horse cavalry units. Okay, Camel Unease affects it, but they still get their bonus damage against the Tower Elephants, and now David Kim going to be starting to struggle. Head slowly getting pushed underneath water. Lee Nock reaches the Imperial Age. It starts to get more concerning. Men-at-Arms going to be coming in and looking to greet a couple of these units, and now at the same time, the crossbowmen from Lee Nock are going to be pushing out towards this position. You can see them potentially hunting for villagers. Indeed, they are firing off those shots, but now the Tower Elephants are mad. You have upset them, and they begin to come out in number. You can see he's got 8 Tower Elephants at this point. 9 Tower Elephants? How many Tower Elephants are we talking right now? 8 Tower Elephants coming out, chasing down these crossbows. Crossbows trying their best to get out of it, but you can see they are struggling with their movement speed. Barely faster than an elephant, and now those elephants really going to be chasing. Balanced projectile coming in for David Kim as well, and he's trying to get these upgrades in, but he is struggling. He's on 100 population at the moment, a lot of which is just these elephants. But I suspect those Camel Riders are going to be very effective against these units in this situation. Now, War Elephant comes out. This guy has an extra 40 damage against cavalry, but I don't know whether that damage also translates to damage against camels. So hopefully Lee Nock is going for camels behind this. Indeed he is. Going to be going for Camel Riders, though. We'll take a look at the upgrades he's getting. We can see he's getting Elite Camel Riders. He's also getting Elite Spearmen and going into +3 ranged attack. Subsequently, we see Biology coming through, and also we see the, I think we might also see Incendiary Arrows come through shortly. I wouldn't be surprised. Look at the economy he's got going. Oh my lord, it's disgusting right now. Lee Nock could just be investing heavily into camels. These units are very, very food heavy. We see Elite coming through now for him, but we can see he's also gathering up all the gold on the map and looking to secure it up. So doing the right thing in the late game. Ideally in the late game, you want to be focusing on those resources. Keep in mind, our Delhi player, he's going to be happy. He's got his 5 relics in the bag. That'll be enough for him for the moment. Sacred Site still yet to be recaptured, but Lee Nock is in a position for him to start thinking about taking those. And Elephants moving out in the middle of the map with a couple of Spearmen in tandem looking to hold on, but they are only hardened Spearmen. Still yet to get that Veteran Spearman upgrade. It's going to be another 3 minutes before that bad boy is through. Does he have the Wi-Fi connected out there? I don't think he's got the Wi-Fi connected out there. Indeed, he doesn't. So it's going to be extra slow for him. He's going to have to extend that Wi-Fi out, but now we can see the units beginning to march out. I think David Kim senses there might be blood in the water here. Leenock going to be trying to hold on. Now, remember, Leenock has got those elite upgrades, but he doesn't really have a big mass of infantry, or rather, military. 49 population for him versus the 62 for David Kim. And David Kim actually going to be looking to do an elephant march over in this position. He's down by about 2,000 score, but I'm starting to look a little bit worried right now for Leenock. Leenock going to be really struggling. We'll head into the cinematic mode as the elephants look to take on the camels. Their camels going to be holding on in this position. You can see all of the units beginning to come out, turning their attention towards those camels on the back line. The spearmen going to be in here as well. We see some scholars looking to heal up. In fact, no, I take it back. It's going to be the keep that is healing up in this scenario, and all of the elite spears coming out. Phalanx going to be doing work in this scenario, and slowly but steadily the elephants do begin to fall. And the tap out comes through. It looks like Puppy Paw is tapped out. Leenock is victorious. Leenock is fighting. Fellas, if you have enjoyed this casted game, then make sure you go check out these two guys. They are on Twitch. They're probably streaming right now. So go say good day and check them out. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Actually, you know what we'll do? We'll just quickly check the statistics before we do it. Leenock, very, very compelling victory there at the end. I was a bit scared when I saw all those elephants. But villager count continued to rise. Military count, it was a little bit worrisome in the beginning. But eventually, Leenock was able to overcome his opponent and close it out. But fellas, I'll catch you guys in the next one. Thank you so much for watching.